Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time to join us for our webinar. My name is Max Overholtz. I'm a regional manager here at Trilion for our Great Lakes office.
I'm Ricardo Ponte. I'm an applications engineer here at Trilion.
And I'm Benjamin Wegrin, head of sales development at Trilion.
And today we're going to be going over SuPAR, a powerful augmented reality inspection tool, and some major updates that came out at the end of last year.
If you've seen SuPAR before, you're going to see some huge upgrades here. If not, welcome. You're about to see the power of SuPAR visual inspection.
On the agenda for today, we're going to start off with a brief refresher on what SuPAR is, as well as a quick demo of the current inspection workflow. Then we're going to move on to the updates and how they improve the inspection process, and then we'll end the webinar off with Q&A. SuPAR enables real-time 3D to 3D CAD-to-part comparisons using augmented reality. Instead of having an engineering drawing and flipping between it and your part, or measuring individual features one by one, SuPAR will actually overlay the model onto your part in real space. That instantaneous visual feedback and automated reporting that SuPAR provides can help reduce your inspection times by up to 80%, which will then improve on your labor, and then that will eventually improve on your overall cost. You can also improve your accuracy, reliability, and accountability of your inspections and inspectors, really working to push that quality upstream and catch mistakes before they happen. Everything starts here in SuPAR Composer. This is the application where all the setup work takes place, importing your model, extracting your tracking edges, creating your inspections, things like that. So let's jump right in. I'll come here and hit Empty Project, and we're brought into our Model tab. This is where we import our model, make any last-minute model changes, and that sort of thing. So we're going to come here, hit Import, navigate to the model that we're going to be inspecting, hit Import, and there it is. One thing I'll do really quick is just adjust the sort of orientation of the part. Something like that looks good to me. And for now, I'm going to be done in the Model tab and move straight into our AR Tracking tab. This is the tab where we will extract our tracking references so that SuPAR will constantly be trying to match the real edges that it sees to the tracking edges that we're about to extract. To do that, we'll come up and hit Edge Extract. There's a number of different parameters here that I can change depending on the size and complexity of the part. For this part, these are the default settings, which are going to work perfectly fine. So I'll just hit OK and let Composer automatically extract the tracking references that it needs. And there we have them. So we have a bit of a blue wireframe. These look good to me. I don't foresee any problems with the tracking. If I did foresee any problems, I could have SuPAR extract more edges, or I could edit my own should I want to, but this is going to be perfectly fine for our purposes. The only other thing I'll do in the AR Tracking tab is add a couple of reference views. These just help with the initial orientation of your part when you're first getting it aligned. You can basically preset your orientation, which are really convenient to have, so I always like to add a couple at least. So I'll add one like this, and maybe I'll add one sort of something like this, and that's probably good for this. So I'll move straight into our Inspections tab. This is where we set up all of our checkpoints that our inspector is going to follow. So to do that, we will hit Checkpoint, and we have a little arrow, and I'll place this arrow near any feature of interest. So let's start with this hole, and we have our checkpoint creation window open. I can rename the checkpoint. I can change the part in the feature tree that this checkpoint is attached to, and I can create groups of inspection checkpoints to group similar types or checkpoints in similar areas and group them together. The important thing is the description. This is what our inspector is going to see when they're actually inspecting. So I will tell the inspector to verify the whole location. I can add images or engineering drawings or something like that should I want the inspector to see that information when they're doing their inspection. And I can also require that they take a comment and a photo. This keeps your inspector accountable and prevents them from moving on from this checkpoint unless they have taken at least one comment and or at least one photo, depending on what you select. So that looks good for this checkpoint. I'll just add a couple more here to fill out our inspection. So I'll add one for this bracket. So I'll say, check bracket placement. Require a comment and a photo for that. And we'll do one more for this sort of square hole. Verify hole location. So now that I've added a couple of inspection checkpoints, we're almost ready to move this over to our iPad and inspect this part. The last thing I will do in the inspection tab is just edit the name of the inspection. You can save multiple inspection templates and create inspections from those templates as many times as you want once you're actually inspecting the part. And you can save them all natively to this project. So this project will have all of your templates and all the inspections that were completed on this part all saved to this SuPAR project, which is really convenient. So I'm pretty happy with where we are. I'm going to save this project. I'll save it somewhere appropriate. And I'll navigate back to the home screen, grab my iPad. I'm using a wired connection. You can use a wired connection or a flash drive or set up a cloud file share service, whatever's easiest. So the thing that I want to make sure I have open is I want to make sure I have SuPAR open on the iPad and the data transfer window open here. So as soon as this finishes launching and initializing, SuPAR has found my iPad. I'll hit send, find that SuPAR project that I just created, and send it over. We got a green check mark, and if I check on my iPad, I've got my part ready to inspect. So we are ready to move out to the shop floor and actually start inspecting this part.
Now let's look at an actual inspection. Navigating through our project files in the SuPAR application, we're going to navigate down to the part that we're looking to load. It's going to bring that part into real space here, and we are going to start tracking to lock on. A couple different features I want to highlight here. First of all, we have our layers. This is showing the solid model here, aligning the CAD right onto the actual part. While we're here, we can navigate over to color palette, which allows you to actually change the color of the CAD file on top of the part. And you can also change the opacity. We're going to leave it at 70 here. And a couple of other features within the layers. Of course, I've mentioned the solid. Now we're going to go to the virtual lines. Now from this angle, you can already see we are missing a component in the middle of the port here, but this is going to be highlighted a little bit more in the future. Actual lines are going to identify any edges that the camera can capture on the part in front of us. And the bread and butter is the tracked edges, which is going to compare the edges from the CAD file to what the camera can capture. Now you can see there is red, indicating a missing part right here. One thing I did want to point out is our cross section. We do have the ability to cut off part of the CAD if you'd like to focus on only the bottom half. Of course, you can change the position and focus on whatever the part if you'd like. This just takes away distractions of the remaining part of the CAD file here. The last thing I wanted to show everyone is just our guided inspection. So I'm going to go up to our hamburger folder up in the left-hand corner and hit Open Inspection. Go ahead and start our demo here. Hit the hamburger button in the left-hand corner and start navigation. It's going to lead us to the first checkpoint here. Going to expand a checkpoint. Going to add a comment saying that this part is okay. And we are going to leave a green indicator. Lastly, let's capture a photo. And save, navigating to checkpoint 2. Now this is where our missing part is. So I'm going to add a comment. And we are going to want to indicate this red to flag the inspector. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit and take a photo of this before moving on to our final inspection point. The hole is present, so I'm going to hit OK and mark this as green and take our final photo. Hit save and our inspection is complete. Navigating up to the hamburger menu in the left-hand corner again, we're going to save our inspection and export as a PDF. From here, you can always share and save. We are going to save to our local files on the iPad, but you can always share to your team to review the inspection. Now, let's talk about what's new. First, the Composer UI has been significantly refined. The home screen has a much larger and more visually accessible list of recent projects with new sorting capabilities. The main project tools are clearly listed up top, with the new project button replaced by other functions. The data transfer window now includes basic troubleshooting guidance to assist users during the project transfer process. Finally, there's a new notification panel that keeps you informed about installation updates and license expiration reminders. Speaking of which, SuPAR software licenses can now be transferred between hardware systems instead of being locked to one device. Once inside a project, there are several quality of life improvements as well as a new edge extraction functionality, which we'll see later. New improvements to checkpoint creation and management have also been made. You can now create multiple checkpoints simultaneously. For larger inspections with repetitive features, this drastically reduces inspection setup time. In addition, checkpoints can now be reordered at any time. Instead of deleting and recreating them to adjust the sequence, you can reorganize them instantly, making it easier to group related checkpoints and streamline the inspection workflow.
The new interior edge extract tool allows for internal edge definitions, not just exterior ones. This is especially powerful for parts with recessed features or large interiors, things like this body in white.
There have also been updates to the live tracking, including improved lock-on and stability during the inspection process. The new algorithm reduces jitter and improves positioning under unideal lighting conditions, such as a shop floor. Our AI model for holes, spot welds, and studs has also been improved. Comparison speeds and decision confidence is now up to 10 times faster, with additional notes about the location of the feature relative to where it should be according to the CAD.
With these new updates, SuPAR is faster and more reliable and can make your inspections more repeatable and scalable across your industry.
If you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you for taking the time to join us for this webinar. If you want to hang out for a few minutes, we'll also be doing a Q&A right after.
All right. Is there a size limit for the part? Sort of. You can generally go up to parts about 2 to 4 meters. Any bigger than that, and you'll probably start wanting to break up your model just because you'll start to lose visibility on those really large parts. For smaller parts, and this actually gets into another question that I see, any specs on accuracy tolerance. We have an accuracy of about 1 millimeter. Up to parts about a meter big. Any larger than that, and you'll start to see something along the lines of 1 to 5 millimeters. So those are your bottom and top end of your object sizes, of your part sizes. Another question, is SuPAR available on non-Apple devices? As of right now, no. But my understanding is that there may be something in the works, but as of right now, SuPAR is exclusive to Apple iPads and Apple products. Can multiple iPads share a license? Yes. Now, there was a very short remark about that in the presentation. That there is now a floating license option where you can move licenses between your hardware options. So if you're interested in that, you would have to let us know, and we can absolutely sort that out for you. Does SuPAR have any InfoSec documentation or other documents discussing the security of data handling? I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll have to talk to the developers to see what information I can get regarding data handling and data security for IT purposes and things like that. So I will have to double check that and get back to you. I'm actually going to write that down.
The system is also set up to be primarily an offline tool. And we have had customers with IT restrictions that have gone in and, locked certain things down within the iPads as well. So as long as they're not shutting down anything with the camera or the SuPAR app specifically, because it does come from the App Store. So there is obviously also that added layer of security with things. As long as they're not locking anything down with that, you should be fine.
All right, refreshing the list. Is it hard to share reports internationally via web-based viewer? No, actually, the web-based client, which we actually didn't touch on super much in this webinar, there is a license-free web viewer where you can locally upload a SuPAR project and an inspection and view that report, or you can generate like a PDF report that we saw in the webinar and share that as any other document, pretty much. Is SuPAR capable of showing whole location in the XYZ direction? Not necessarily. It's not like it's not going to sort of generate measurements for you. It's going to tell you and give you information as to whether things are aligning with the CAD or not. There is some limited measurement capability where you can measure points between CADs and points off of CADs, but it's not like a GD&T tool necessarily. It's more of a quality inspection, making sure that things are aligning to the CAD properly throughout the quality control process. So SuPAR can be used without Wi-Fi. Yes, for the most part, the only things that you'll need a connection for, and this is a half truth, is for any updates or like initial software setup. But there are ways to work around that if absolutely necessary. But once you're installed and your license is activated, it can be a completely offline tool if desired. Can the report document be custom made to the organization? Yes, you can customize the logo, and within the export options, there are some different parameters that you can set as to what types of checkpoints get exported, and whether all of the correct ones, all of the not correct ones, that kind of thing. You can adjust those parameters as you're exporting your report at the end of an inspection. I'm gonna check the chat here in case there's anything here. What is the budget cost of the system with 2 tablets for inspection? Max, I'll let you answer that one. I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, we can reach out after the meeting to discuss that more. We can source the iPads or the iPad Pros ourselves, or you guys can obviously source those too. And there's a bunch of different options that go into everything. It's kind of pick and choose as you're going through everything with what might actually be needed. So yeah, we can reach out, give you more details for that, get you like a quotes for budgetary purposes and whatnot.
Checking back in the Q&A. I don't know what iPad model I have. How can I tell if it's compatible? It should be the iPad Pro 4th generation and later. So if you have an iPad Pro, an easy way to check is if you have the 3 lenses on the back of your device. That means that you have the LiDAR scanner built in, which is what SuPAR uses to overlay the CAD model and track actively as you move around the part. So that's a sort of quick and easy check. But to be certain, iPad Pro 4th generation and later.
Looks like we got another one about the iPad sharing license. Yes, for both SuPAR and Composer, since the licenses are separate, we do now have floating license capabilities. So yes, if you want to have, one license that goes across multiple iPads, at different facilities or teams, whatever it might be, yes, that is now a possibility. And we'll be hanging out in here for probably another 5-10 minutes. So if anyone does have any more questions, anything that you guys want to talk about, we can definitely do that while we're here. Otherwise, we can reach out after the meeting and go through things with you guys individually as well.
If we already have a license, can it be changed to a floating license, or are they one and the same? Max?
Yes.
You want to take
Yeah,
that
we
one?
can we can update you guys to a floating license if that is what you're looking for. It's just some stuff on the back end that needs to be changed on our end. So yes, we can do that. Doesn't look like we have too many more people hanging out here. Questions that I can see. Yeah, so if anyone does have obviously any more questions, feel free to reach out to us. All of our contact info is on the page right now. And we'll be reaching out to anyone that was interested as well in regards to SuPAR. But yeah, it looks like we can probably end it now. And thank you guys.
Thanks for
Really
joining.
appreciate everyone
Yeah.
for taking the time to join.